Thanks for having me, Jessie. I met Jessie probably 12 months ago, is it? Where are you, Jessie? 12 months ago?
12 months.
And I've worked alongside you since then. Which one am I pushing?
The right one.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure why I'm speaking first, because I'm probably the end user of how you get your logistics out to the world. I've been with DHL now for 4 years, and coming from a small country town in New South Wales, I had no idea what it was to get a parcel from this side of the world to the other side of the world in time. So it's all about the business is waiting. So many people think that they can only just do locally, domestic shipments, but let me tell you, there is a whole wide world out there that is awaiting your business. So we've got $1 trillion US spent on cross-border purchases by 2020. We're already there. So that's 3 times the figure of 2015. So they expect everything, demand on time, anytime, any place and anywhere within the world to buy from. I know myself, I always look at who's going to be shipping my products and how long it's going to take me to get it here. So you're looking at a 25% year on year on growth. Now the biggest countries in the world that are using us, or using, e-commerce is China, and alongside that is USA. Okay, so this is for the USA, 450 billion e-commerce sales, over 200 million online shoppers. The biggest thing about the USA and why people pick this first is because of the de minimis. So your de minimis into the USA is $800 US. So people like to pick that country, and probably New Zealand would be another one. Because of the VAT fees, and your shipping costs are a little bit less, because they find it a little bit hard sometimes to work out how much it's going to cost them with the VAT fees. So US would be my biggest country of export. I look after 2 major clients here in Perth that are all e-commerce. One's with sunglasses and the other one is swimwear. They're their biggest lanes. Online preferences, so 85% online shoppers review social media pre-purchase, 23% of online purchases made on mobile devices. And let me tell you, I'm going to show you a slide here which is very relevant to my children, not quite yet. This is China, 672 billion e-commerce sales. China absolutely loves our health products. So anything to do with vitamins, they trust Australian products, pharmaceuticals, fashion, they love it. So 90% of online sales via marketplaces, 20% online shoppers are Alipay, and increasing social media to make purchase decisions. Okay, so what's the global opportunity? Consumers are getting more and more familiar with cross-border buying. Cross-border e-commerce shows half the return rate compared to domestic sales. Why is this? Does anyone know the answer to why that is?
It's really hard to send something back.
Correct. They also make the right decision when they're purchasing it, because, well, they do. They're a little bit more careful about how they make the decision, because they know that they may have to return it. And having a return doesn't mean you have to pay for it. The client can pay for that, so you can build that in. So everybody can benefit. It doesn't matter the size of the business, whether it's something small, something large. I work for DHL. I'm not here to sell you DHL. I'm simply here to tell you that the opportunity is here. Whether you pay $5 to ship your product, whether you pay $20 or $30 to ship your product, it's all there awaiting you. Cross-border e-commerce is growing at twice the rate of domestic shipments. I've got one client that's just started with me who's been doing domestic. He went from doing 300 to 400 shipments a month with domestic. He decided to put it out to the US. We talked about it. I'm not the marketing people. There's plenty of marketing people here that get it out there. I'm IT orientated whatsoever. I got a new laptop today that I don't know how to work. So in that respect, these guys are now, in the first month, I think his first month for international into the US and into New Zealand is 500 shipments in the first month. So he's doing very well. Okay, next one. So your customers' habits are changing. They want flexible delivery and easy returns. As I mentioned before, you don't have to pay for the returns. It can be built into your website. As long as it's an easy thing for them to do, they're going to choose that. They're increasingly purchasing from their mobile devices, and the speed of delivery can be greater than that can be valued greater than the cost. And I am one for that. I needed something for my daughter who just graduated from university. I saw this beautiful item online, thought, I'm going to have that. Went into the delivery, oh, it's going to take 6 weeks. I went, no, she's graduating next week. I want it now. So millennials are open to shopping cross-border. So how do we get involved? We offer international shipping. It doesn't cost you anything to offer international shipping if you build it in right. Offer an express delivery option, because that's one thing that people don't do. They say, yes, it's going to take this. I pay extra to get stuff here because I want it. And I'm prepared to pay that amount. So provide full tracking services and offer a simple returns policy. Make your customers' experience better to increase the share of returning visitors. Yes, thanks, Jessie. Okay, so the age of immediacy. And when I was going through this with my boss, he kept saying the age of intimacy. And I went, oh my God, I'd better not say that tonight. So create a competitive advantage. 91% of consumers are looking for that available delivery options. And I look at that before I get to the checkout. Because if it's not there, I'm not going to purchase it. That might not be everyone, but that's me. So I'm in that 91%. And the next thing is, the biggest one from here is 46% will abandon the basket if there's limited shipping options. So not offering express, not offering international. So this is the Black Friday facts. You've probably seen this before. Millennials are 5 times more likely than baby boomers to have made an online purchase from the bathroom. And just ask my son, he does it all the time. 12% of all Black Friday shoppers are drunk. Very well-known fact. So, the industry expectations in 2030, more than 85% of businesses will be e-commerce. This is really sad. I was actually talking to a new client yesterday where the bricks and mortar are not going to be there, which is a bit sad. I gave a card to my boss the other day that said he was turning 50. I said, and on it had a mobile was what you stuck over your babies when they were little, not a mobile phone. So there you go. Less than 1% of trade will be offline. Much of today's world trade is seen in containers, while in 2020, most of it will be in packages. Okay, so start planning. This is what we tell everyone. Charge the right costs. So we've had people that start and then they don't build the cost in, or they don't look at the overall outlay. So you can charge a flat rate shipping, $15 to the US. Offer free shipping. Smoke and mirrors. There's no such thing as free shipping. You're going to pay for it somewhere. So we quite often say to people, if you're using Australia Post and you're charging $10, you can actually go on and say, hey, if you want express and you want it there in 3 days, 4 days, you can pay an extra $15, which is taking the cost of your $10 or whatever, just using an example, and getting it there in 3 to 4 days for an extra cost. And most people will choose that. Right, next one. Have I used my 15 minutes yet, Jessie? You're looking at me. So the order status, 49% of people expect online retailers to communicate the status on their new order. And I love it when I get that text message. My shipment is on the way. I know where it is. I know when it's leaving. I know when it's coming in. I actually know when it's arrived. This is a tool that we use. I would imagine other companies use the similar sort of things, but they love it. So we do offer an ODD solution, so you can actually go on and select if you're on vacation. We've just started in the US now, where people will leave an authority to leave. So the ODD allows you to actually push on authority to leave. Our couriers will take a photo of that shipment sitting on the front veranda or wherever they said to leave it, so that if the client comes back and says that didn't get delivered, we go, oh yes it did, and show them the proof of it, which is very relevant because we've got a lot of scammers in this world at the moment. So repeat orders, and that's what everyone wants. Customers are 87% more likely to return after a good delivery experience and will increasingly spend more money if you get it there on time. What they expect actually increase their expectations, because if we get a day earlier, they love us even more. And if it's anything like our daughter, she wants it yesterday. So the website check, and I was talking to some lovely people in the crowd tonight that do all this. They do your website, get all that happening. So do you sell internationally? Do you offer an express delivery option? Do you offer duties and taxes paid? Everybody hates that. They hate the duties and taxes. They think that is really, really difficult to deal with. But there's add-ons and plugins that you can get where at the basket, they will actually tell you or tell the client how much it's going to be. And let me tell you one thing, which I can take my glasses off now, is one of my clients was picked up just recently because they were undervaluing their products. And that's one thing, because into the UK, you've got a very low VAT, which is £15. I say $30 because it's the same sort of thing. So it wasn't DHL, well, DHL alerted them to it, but the £30, they were valuing it at £8. Customers have got onto that. So they go onto their website and they go, oh, that's that product that they bought. No, this is how much. Don't be frightened of that, because you can build it in and you can actually have it so they know, because we know we've got to pay GST when it comes into the country. New Zealand have just started a 10% GST, or whatever they call it over there. I think it's VAT. Same thing. So we're used to it. They are too. Don't be frightened of what your clients are going to say, because at the end of the day, they're the ones making the decision. So if you can make it quite clear at the start, then, and out there, they know what they're paying for. And I think that's it. Thank you.